right, good Sunday, late afternoon, everyone. William Cole here in the Forecast Center going on 5:30, and we are tracking severe weather now in Oklahoma. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and I quickly want to get to our team of trackers because we have a little bit of rotation now developing on the southern sides of the Oklahoma City metro down near Pauls Valley. So I want to take a look at that here in just a second. But first of all, we do have tornado watch in effect, north central, central, into portions of southern Oklahoma, all the counties in green. Again, that is a tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. This evening. Now, real quickly here, this is our storm tracker Trey Smith's video, and just a second ago he had a funnel. We're going to take a look at live radar and everything else coming up here in just a second. But real quickly, I do want to go and take a look at his live video. And again, this is down near the Pauls Valley area. I'll show you the storm in a minute. But hey, Trey, you're on the live line. Go ahead and give us an update. Tell us what you're seeing. Again, in just a second ago, you had a little bit of rising motion, and again, you had just a small funnel just a second ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you can actually see what's in my live stream, that's rotating.
Yeah, well, I got it. Yeah, we got it now. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, so this continues to enhance. Folks, this is important now for our friends in Pauls Valley. So we're going to take a look at radar here in just a second. But yeah, no doubt about it. That is a large area of spin. Hey, Trey, can you center up your shot just a little bit?
No, because it can't pivot any further. Let me grab the camera and see if I can take
it.
No,
that's okay. That's okay. Just leave it there in case you need to move. But go ahead and again tell us exactly where you are, and again tell us what you're seeing.
You see that? Okay. I am just west of I-35.
Okay.
In Pauls Valley.
Yep.
And I have I'm just gonna call it a lowering because I can't tell you what it is exactly.
Yeah, no, it is. There's an area of spin, and as I'm looking at the back end appendage on this storm, there's a small compact area of spin right on the back side of it. Trey, hold that shot. That's perfect. That's right there near White Bead, back up towards Paoli. You folks definitely heads up on this. So White Bead back up towards Paoli. Here's White Bead, there's Paoli. You can see this area of spin. This came up quick. That's an area of spin right there. And this is it live. This is what Trey has. And Trey, just hold that shot there. And it looks like it's getting just a little bit closer to the surface. But again, just keep giving us a play-by-play with what you're seeing there.
It is actually trying to get closer to the surface. I keep getting a lot of rising scud up into it, and it is rotating, as well as it'll come down a little bit and then go back up. But it's definitely trying.
Okay, Trey, and just keep giving us a play-by-play. I'm just looking at some data here. Trey, just go and keep giving us a play-by-play.
It's practically sitting right over I-35 at the moment, from what I can tell from where I'm at. But it is definitely spinning. It has not touched down yet.
Okay, and so we're listening to Trey there. He's just a little intermittent, but we're looking at his live shot there. And again, I'm just typing in a few things here as well. So we're looking at this live. So this is, at least right now, there's no official tornado warning in effect. But again, this is a very large, you can see very large area of spin, mesocyclone on the backside of the storm. This is going to be near White Bead, back up towards Paoli. This is an area of fairly tight rotation. And again, you're just seeing it in real time. I mean, you're seeing it in real time here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We're going to update his title bar there. It's not necessarily Maysville, but he's right there near White Bead. And that's going to be in Garvin County. But it looks like it's kind of going up right now, Trey. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's losing its structure at the moment.
So this again is what you would call a fairly dynamic situation. We're just watching it in real time. Again, this is northern Garvin County. And again, I apologize. I'm just kind of multitasking, doing a couple different things there. But again, we're seeing this in real time. We'll take the shot full again here in just a second. But what we're seeing in the area of spin, the area of rotation has come down just slightly. And keep in mind, there's no tornado warning in effect. This is still just a severe thunderstorm warning. But this is Garvin County, Whitebeard. There's Paoli. And back over in here, this is going to be the I-35 corridor. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect. But again, we had a fairly dramatic, again, funnel cloud, very well shaped. It didn't come down to the ground. But again, that was fairly impressive there near the White Bead area. So again, Trey, you're still on the live line here with us. We're still looking at your stream. Again, go ahead and give us an update.
Yeah, it's kind of come down quite a bit. It's not actually as impressive as it was a minute ago. I'm still getting rising scud into that area, but my winds have actually died down. They're not as strong as they were about 2-3 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, it was fairly dramatic just a second ago. It's kind of coming down, but that's the thing with these tornadoes. They're living, breathing machines, these mesocyclones, and a lot of times we'll see them kind of ramp up, and then we'll also see them kind of start to ramp back down. And at least right now, at this very point in time, it's slightly ramping down. Now, keep in mind, there's not been a tornado warning in effect for this storm, even though we had a one of the most well-pronounced funnel clouds I've seen in quite a while. There is an area of rotation on the backside of the storm. And real quickly, let me go and zoom out the radar here, because this is where we're talking about. We're talking about south central Oklahoma. This is just north of Pauls Valley. So we're talking about Garvin County, south central Oklahoma. And again, like I mentioned here, just within about the last 5 minutes or so, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we had a very well-pronounced funnel. And again, it kind of started to act like it wanted to maybe come down a little bit further, but again, then it stopped. And again, right now we're seeing the rotation ramp down just slightly, but again, that was a fairly pronounced funnel cloud. Again, this is near the very small community of Whitebead. Let's go and zoom this in again here. And again, if you look there kind of on the top left-hand corner of your screen, again, the small communities of Whitebead, back over even through Paoli, again, definite heads up. The northern sides of Pauls Valley heads up as well, basically crossing the I-35 corridor. But again, like I mentioned, I mean, over at least the last couple years, that was one of the most well-pronounced funnel clouds I've seen in a while that, again, didn't technically touch the ground. And again, we did not technically have a tornado warning in effect. But again, we want to continue to kind of hold that shot. It's ramping down now slightly. But again, folks, if you saw that, that was fairly impressive. And again, we just saw it all happening basically right there in front of our eyes. Again, basically, just the genesis of it spinning up and then, again, coming back down. So again, just to kind of reemphasize, if you're just joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, we're talking about south central Oklahoma. This is near the I-35 area, Pauls Valley, and again, basically near the Paoli area. But our storm tracker, Trey Smith, he's still down there. And Trey, it looks like from here, it looks like that funnel cloud is almost completely dissipated. But go ahead and give us an update. And again, tell us what you're seeing and kind of what you saw just a second ago as well.
Yeah, we just had a really well-pronounced funnel. It really has pretty much dissipated, drastically. I'm talking it over with Doug here. We're probably going to reposition here in a minute, so I'll lose this feed and we'll get back into.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If I was you guys, I would definitely 100% stay on that, because that will most likely try and recycle. We see that a lot of times, especially with these kind of developing supercells, if you will. A lot of times they'll try and kind of do something, and then a lot of times, especially right now when maybe the cloud base is a little too high, we get what's called basically a cold rear flank downdraft. And basically what it is, it's called a tornado genesis failure. And I think that's actually what we just saw live. We saw that in real time, a tornado genesis failure, where it was basically ramping up. And again, just because right now the cloud base is what we call the LCL is just a little too high, we had a tornado genesis failure. But again, the storm, it's going to continue to at least kind of cycle up and down. And again, you see Trey basically, we'll just kind of cut away from that real quick. He had to take his live shot out of his car, again, as that was happening there in real time. But we'll go back to a mesoscan here real quick. And as we switch back over, we still have a couple additional storms here that we're tracking carefully. We have Mike and Jesse, our other team of trackers, just north and of this cell up in portions of southern Cleveland County and also across portions of McLean County. From Washington back over through Slaughterville, folks, I tell you what, we have no tornado warnings currently in effect anywhere here in Oklahoma, but you definitely have to pay attention, because I tell you what, the conditions are becoming a little more favorable now for some type of tornadic activity. But again, from Washington back over through Slaughterville, you see this hook now developing right there around the Washington area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the velocities within this storm. And this is important. This is the far southern sides of the metro. And right now, at least at the lower levels of this storm, we're not seeing anything too impressive. So in other words, we're looking for the red and green basically coming together. We're not seeing that. But again, like what just happened down there near the Whitebead area, just north of Pauls Valley. That happened quick. I mean, that happened within like 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the very most, where it really just ramped up. And then again, we had that tornado genesis failure where we had the really nice wall cloud, the really nice funnel cloud ramping up, and then we basically got that cold rear flank downdraft when we had tornado genesis failure. But that was very impressive. And again, you saw it live right here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. Trey Smith doing a great job down there again with that storm. But we do have other storms in Oklahoma, so let's go and talk about those here real quickly as well. And I want to take a look a little bit further to the south. This is down near the Davis area, also near Joy. This is a non-severe storm, but it is developing fairly quickly, basically sitting right on the I-35 corridor. So we're tracking that one. Again, that one right there, not severe currently. And then we have the other severe storm right here in central Oklahoma. And this is in McLean and portions of Cleveland County. Mike and Jesse are on that storm. Mike and Jesse, are you guys still on the live line with us? Okay, we're going to get Mike Russ back on the live line. Okay, Mike, you're on the live line. We're going to try and check your video here in just a second. I know you're getting closer to this storm. I know you're dropping south, I believe, on Highway 77 towards Noble. Now, this storm, right now, at least just the structure with it, again, we're starting to get a little bit of a hook on the back end. There's no immediate rotation that we're showing on radar. But again, like what Trey just saw down there in northern Garvin County, again, that spun up fairly quickly. So give us an update. Tell us what you guys are seeing with that cell right there.
Yes, William, we're definitely watching it. When we came through the Noble area, we're actually south of Noble right now. We're kind of heading towards the Bristol area. But when we went through the Noble area, we had a small wall cloud try to develop, but it was short-lived. The storm that was coming from Bristol at that time kind of overtook it and put that wall cloud out. But we're still watching it. It's very dynamic area out here. We're seeing a lot of motion, and it's just heavy rain. We just threw a storm and extremely heavy rain, William. Visibility dropped real quick on us.
Okay.
But we're kind of out of it now. We're watching it. We're trying to get back into a better position.
Okay, Mike, hey, pay extra special attention to that cell. So from Washington to Slaughterville, even back up through Noble. Again, you folks definitely heads up with this storm. It's only severe, but we're tracking it carefully. There is a little bit of hail. That's going to be some quarters. You see it right there with the hail core tracker coming through Slaughterville. Now we're tracking that one very carefully. Now the one we just had the tornado genesis failure on, this is down here near the Paoli areas. We're near White Beach. When it happened. As we go back over to a Trey Smith's live stream, so this is his live shot of the storm. Trey, go ahead and give us an update. Again, we had the very pronounced funnel cloud maybe 10 minutes ago. I mean, a very, very well pronounced funnel cloud. It was almost kind of eerie. We had the tornado genesis failure. Nothing happened with it. But again, as you're again kind of tracking east now, give us an update with what you're seeing.
Yeah, it was very pronounced well cloud a while ago, and it's actually ramping back up again to just to my north here.
Okay.
I'm trying to get ahead of it, keep with it on 19.
Yeah, hey, I'll tell you what, Trey, I mean, there's still a very pronounced area of spin. And that's why it's important for you folks, again, back up there near the Washington area. Again, you've got to pay attention because these storms, these are what we call fast-changing weather conditions. And that's what happened with this cell. Very quickly it changed. And so again, we're still seeing, again, as you're looking kind of there in the left-hand corner of your screen, that red and green, broad area of rotation, broad area of spin, and we're just watching to see if that tightens up just a little bit more. Right now, the one thing in a way this is kind of good, we look at what we call the LCL levels of these storms, basically the cloud heights, and right now they're a little high for tornadic activity, and I think that's why just a second ago, we had that a tornado genesis failure. But as we go over the next couple hours, the heights are going to come down just a little bit, and so will the bases, and that'll be just a little more conducive for some type of a tornadic activity. So that's why we're tracking this carefully. But again, Trey, I know you're trying to get back into position there. You're still looking at it. We're just waiting for you to kind of make that curve there. But what are you seeing with this storm? We're still getting some fairly good indications of rotation just south of Paoli. Again, officially no tornado warning. This is still only a severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like the storm is coming back in view. Go ahead and give us an update. Trey, are you still on the live line?
It's really starting to get its act. Yeah, it's really starting to get its act together again. It is really getting intense. It's starting to come back down again. I'll over here just to the northeast of Pauls Valley. I'm going to make my way through Pauls Valley, and then we'll be back on the east side of town, and I can get you a little bit better shot of this. But just from what I could see a while ago, before I got covered up by the building, it was really getting attacked together.
Okay, and so
Again,
real quick, one thing I want to do, I want to talk to Mike and Jesse here. They're on the live line as well. Now, they're more up towards the Noble area. What we basically have two developing supercells, one on the southern sides of the Oklahoma City Metro between Washington and Slaughterville. That's going to be southern McLean and Cleveland County. And then we have this other supercell, which basically just had a failed tornado genesis. We had a very large funnel. It was really vigorous, tried to work its way to the ground. We had failed tornado genesis. Nothing happened. Currently, no tornado warnings in effect. We have a tornado watch in effect until 11 p.m. this evening. But right now, the video we're keeping Trey's video up again just because that storm is a little more dynamic. It's showing, again, a little more in the way of rotation right now. And again, that's also the storm that just produced the larger wall cloud. So that's what you're looking at there on the right-hand side of your screen. But for the south sides of the metro, Mike, Russ, I know you're still on the live line with us. You're in the Noble area. Again, what are you guys seeing? Again, that storm continues to try and ramp up closer to the Washington area. What are you guys seeing there in Cleveland County?
Yes, so we're actually well south of Noble now. We're kind of down by the Purcell area, if I'm correct there, William. We turned around, we kind of core punched the storm. We're turning around and tracking it back to the northeast here. And William, I'm seeing a pretty good updraft area here on the back side of this thing that, I mean, very beautiful, very photogenic, very, very, a very good rising motion. But we're definitely watching it. This is going to be coming up toward the Noble area right now, actually, William.
Absolutely, Mike. So that one there, it's between Washington and Slaughterville. That's kind of the general zone that we're watching there, between Washington and Slaughterville. And again, that's what we're looking at there on the top left-hand side of your screen. And then we still have Trey Smith's video. That's going to be down near Paoli. But again, Mike, this storm, even though it looks fairly impressive on radar, right now at least, the storm there in McLean and southern Cleveland County, we're not getting a lot of indications of rotation with it yet. Now, again, just like we saw with that other storm, things can change fairly quickly. And we're also getting some reports of tennis ball size hail out of that storm down there that Trey's on. That's going to be down there by Paoli. Tennis ball size hail being reported down there now as well. These storms could be big time hail producers. I still tell you, this storm down here near Paoli, even the radar signatures, we're going to go back to that one. And in fact, hey, Trey Smith, are you still on the live line with us?
Yeah,
Trey,
I'm still here.
Trey, I'm telling you what, I'm getting very strong indications here on radar that we might be getting another funnel trying to develop down there. Are you kind of in position where you can see anything? And it might be right there on the left-hand side of your screen. It almost looks like I'm seeing something there.
Just barely out of my shot.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But
in fact,
it is attempting.
Yeah, it looks like we've almost even got like a little donut hole there on radar. Yeah, there it is right there. So there's another funnel. So that's the second funnel of the day. This is fairly strong rotation we're starting to pick back up on. And let's go and see. So this is going to be just east of Paoli. This is going to be just east of Paoli. This is fairly rural. You see it right there. Trey, stay on that. You're doing a great job there just east of Paoli.
See, if you look really closely, you might not be able to see my shot, but you can see the RFD cut on the ball out up there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what undercut the other funnel. That's what undercut the other funnel. That's absolutely right. But just keep on trucking on that one right there. How far down to the ground is that?
About a quarter of the way down.
Okay. So that's the other one was a little more defined. The one we had maybe 15 minutes ago was a little more defined. But that's what we're seeing, and that's going to be the general trend today. These are going to continue to kind of ramp up. They're going to go through kind of this funnel cloud phase, and we'll see if we're able to get any kind of tornado genesis and actually get a tornado on the ground again with any of these. But it looks like right now it's almost looking like it's starting to lift back up. Is that right, Trey?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to lift back up there just a little bit, but keep going. We're getting a little bit of tree line there as you get just a little bit further down. Radar is still giving us some good indications. Actually, on radar, it looks like it's maybe trying to ramp down there just a little bit again as well. It looks like it's slowly starting to ramp down. Yep, so that's twice. And just like you said, you saw that RFD wrapping around, and basically that's 2 times now that it's basically kind of been cut off. So again, that's kind of the general trend over the next hour, but as these cloud bases continue to get just a little bit lower, that's when the tornado threat could ramp up just a little bit. And we're obviously seeing that these definitely have the potential to at least start forming funnel clouds. So the tornado threat's definitely there. And for our friends there, again, just east of Paoli, again, this is, let's go and kind of zoom the radar out just a little bit further. This is fairly rural down there, so we don't have any immediate towns in the crosshair. Let's go and zoom this in here. And as we kind of center it up, you see it's east of Paoli, but it can be really between Paoli all the way back over through the Stratford area. It's fairly wide open country. So again, this isn't kind of in the immediate crosshairs of any cities, which of course is good. But again, Trey, we're still looking at your video there in real time, but it looks like that's still fairly well lifting back up. Is that correct? And we may have just temporarily lost Trey there off the live.
Yeah,
no, that's fine.
It is, yeah, lifting up a lot.
Okay. So
it's going back up.
And that one wasn't nearly as defined as the other one. The other one was extremely impressive, the one that's, again, we had just about maybe 15 minutes ago, closer to the White Bead area. But definitely stay on that storm there, Trey. Real quickly, I want to go back up to the north here. I want to check back in with Mike and Jesse. They're on this other storm up here in portions of Cleveland County. And Mike and Jesse, are you guys still on the live line with us?
Yes, William, we're still here.
Hey, Mike, go ahead and give us an update. I know you're still kind of in the Noble area. Again, tell us where you are and tell us what you're seeing in your area.
Yes, we're actually going to be just east of Slaughterville right now. We're watching a fairly tight area of updraft right now. I wouldn't say there's a walkout yet or anything like that, but it's definitely a lower area. It's a violent updraft at this time. It's definitely pulling in moisture at this time, William.
So we're going to continue to, that one's just not quite as organized. It's just not quite as organized there, and that's good. We're not saying that in a bad way, but that's a good thing. But again, right there you see from Noble back down through Slaughterville, it's just not quite as organized. This one down here is very organized, and again, this is one that just east of Paoli, we had that report there of tennis ball size hail. That's 2.5-inch hail. That's extremely damaging hail, and again, that's the one that Trey Smith is on. There's his live video. It froze for just 1 second. Again, he's fairly rural down there. But again, folks, kind of what we're seeing, and if you've been watching this on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV over the last 30 minutes or so, what you're seeing are what we call tornado genesis failures. And today, basically what the deal is at least right now, these cloud heights are going to lower a little bit with time heading into the evening. The cloud bases are just a little too high, and you get these cold core, what we call rear flank downdrafts. They come around and basically cut off the circulation, and you have a tornado genesis failure. That's what we've had twice now. But again, as we head a little bit deeper into the evening, these cloud bases are going to come down just a little bit. And again, if these storms are able to hold together, the threat of tornado, some tornado activity at least, again, will continue to increase here over the next 2 hours or so. Hey, Trey, are you still on the live line? It looks like your stream is frozen. We may have lost you there temporarily. Trey, are you still with us? Okay, so we may have lost Trey temporarily. We're going to get him back on the live line. He's just fairly rural. Okay, so Trey's back on the live line. Hey, Trey, you may check your stream. Right now it looks like it's frozen. I don't know if you're able to check that and see. But what I want to do while you're doing that, I want to kind of give a radar overview. And again, depending on where you are in Oklahoma, let's go and kind of talk about everything we have going on here. So let's go and zoom this out real quick. And we'll kind of give the overview here first of all. And again, basically going on 6 p.m. here on the Sunday evening. Of course, this is Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. And looks like we're going to have a new tornado warning coming out now. So we have a new tornado warning. That's down there where Trey is. So we've had at least 2 failed tornado genesis. This is a brand new tornado warning. And this will include the Byers area. It's fairly rural, but the locations that are included in this warning are Byers. One specific town, Byers, excuse me, and this is until 6:15 this evening. But again, the possibility of a tornado, and again, also an opportunity for some tennis ball size hail with this storm as well. So the area in red you're seeing right there, and I'll kind of mark it out on the screen. Our storm tracker, Trey Smith, is on it. We're going to talk to him here in just a second. But again, this area right here, that red polygon you're seeing, that is a tornado warning. You can see the hook on this storm. We've already had 2 very pronounced wall clouds. We've had 2 very pronounced funnel clouds. We've had 2 failed tornado genesis, tornadoes that did not happen. But again, as the storm is ramping up and over the next hour or so, as these cloud heights continue to lower down, the threat of tornadic activity, specifically with this storm, it's now increasing. And we've got this new tornado warning in effect, Byers included on it. So Trey was just refreshing his stream. Let's go and get him back on the live line, and let's also go and get his video back up. Trey, are you on the line with us? Okay, Trey.
Yeah, I'm seeing an area of rotation. I've not run into any hill, which, according to you, I should say, thank God. But I do have an area of tight rotation coming in. It's not able. I'm not able to get it up on my screen at the moment because it's right over my shoulder, right out my window.
Okay,
But
and
it is a very
okay, and so we're looking
Yeah,
at your
very-
stream here. We're looking at your stream. It's a little intermittent, and so we're going to keep refreshing it. It's only because, again, obviously you're really rural. There's no towns where he is at all. But now this is really important. Okay, so we've got Garvin County, we've got McLean County, and then we have the small town of Byers. We're going to make that red polygon there a little bit bigger so you can see it. But the location we're talking about is far south central Oklahoma. And again, this is Trey's live shot now. He's actually east of Paoli. And Trey, will keep kind of refreshing your stream. But again, go and give us a play-by-play. What are you seeing there as you're looking off in the distance?
as Doug just pointing out over my shoulder, it's starting to tighten up again. We're gonna try and find a place to pull over and get the camera back out so y'all can see this. But it is really starting to tighten up again. I'm just in a lot of traffic at the moment, so.
Trey, and are you
I'm
able
not
to?
able to
We're
play
going to
that.
try and refresh your stream again from here. I don't know if you're just kind of out of signal down there. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're trying to get your
I'm not sure either because it's showing very well on mine.
Is it
my end.
okay? So we're just refreshing it
Yeah.
from here, and we'll try and get it right back up here. And as soon as we have your stream back up, of course, we'll go ahead and take it. And you might try just starting and stopping it real quick and seeing if that helps. Only because, like I said, this is a fairly an evolving situation down there. But again, brand new tornado warning. And again, this is going to be for parts of Garvin and also portions of McLean County. And we're just going to wait for his stream to basically kick back in, and we'll be able to see exactly what's going on. But Trey, go and give us a play-by-play. You're basically our eyes now in the field there. And again, tell us what you're seeing. And it looks like your stream just now cut back in. We may have lost your voice, but we've got your stream back up. And again, the area of concern is going to be right up there to his left.
Yeah, I have a very, very broad base, rain-free base here with it's tightening back up again. It is attempting to really put something down here. It's not lowering, but it's really spinning fast, pretty fast.
Okay, and we're still just watching your stream here. And again, we'll try and refresh that again. It's kind of intermittent. It's in and out, and I think it's only because you're so rural. But again, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, again, tornado warning in effect. And this is going to be for portions of Garvin and McLean County, specifically the small town of Byers. That is the area of concern that we're talking about here. But again, that tornado warning currently in effect. We have our storm tracker, Trey Smith, down in that area. And this storm, it's definitely, even on the radar presentation here, Trey, it looks like the velocities are really coming up on this. And the bad news is this is really tracking directly towards the Byers area. So for you folks in Byers, this is a definite heads up for you. The small town of Byers, this is a definite heads up. Again, tornado warning for your specific area there. So we're going to cut away. We'll refresh the stream again here. And Trey, you might try starting and stopping your stream. But again, go ahead and give us an update. Again, you're still looking at it. You're still our eyes and ears there in the field.
I stopped it, and I'm trying to start it back up.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still rotating pretty good. Pretty much almost directly overhead. But it's
Okay. Well, it
attempting
looks
to do this again.
okay. It looks like your stream is starting. It kind of comes in and stops, and there it is. I don't know if you can kind of center up the shot. It's a little sideways there, but yeah, we've got it coming back in now. We've got it. And if you can just kind of center it up a little bit, that way we can kind of make heads and tails of what you're looking at there. So again, we're looking at the base right there. I see the wall cloud. And so it doesn't look like right now, we don't have a funnel cloud right now. But again, you can see the base of the storm. This is the area of rotation right here. Trey, you're in perfect position. Just go and make sure you kind of maintain that area. But again, as we're looking now at your video, we're able to kind of see what you're talking about. Again, go ahead and tell us what you're seeing. I don't see a funnel cloud actually developed right now. Is that correct?
No funnel cloud at this exact moment, but this is really starting to pick up and spin. As is what I'm saying. The spin in the storm is really starting to pick up.
Okay, so we're continuing. I'm just kind of multitasking here, doing a couple different things at the same time. So if you can, just hold your shot steady there. It's still just a little crooked. I know you guys are trying to kind of improvise there as well to bring us the shot. I think you had to kind of turn your camera around. But again, here's the hook. So again, for our friends down there in northern Garvin, back down into portions of McLean County, strong hook echo here. This is again heading up towards the town of Byers. And again, for our friends down in there, if you have friends, family, relatives that live near, again, the small community of Byers there in southern and eastern portions of McLean County, this is a definite heads up. This storm has already produced 2 fairly large, fairly well-defined funnel clouds, and now we're starting to get some indications that it's trying to do a little more than produce a funnel cloud, and it's trying to actually produce a tornado. We've had 2 failed tornado genesis so far today with this storm, but again, we're going to continue to monitor it. But you're looking at it live. Again, that's near the small town of Byers, and again, that's our storm tracker, Trey Smith. You're doing a great job, Trey. And again, right now, again, we're not seeing anything hanging out of it. Again, it's basically just a well-defined base. You can see the mesocyclone. You can almost see like a bell mesocyclone. This is what I'm talking about here. So this is the actual mesocyclone. This is kind of the bell-shaped feature. You see this, it kind of looks like a bell. This is the area of spin. You see some striations kind of with it. But again, that right there, that's whenever you hear say base, that's the base, that's the wall cloud. You see the whole part of that storm basically hanging down. But we're not seeing a funnel cloud. We just don't have anything hanging out of it, again, like we did just a little bit earlier. But Trey, you're still there, so go ahead and give us an update on the live line.
Yeah, it's still spinning. It's actually, the spin is actually, from what I can tell on radar, will go a little bit farther to my north and east than what I'm at. But there's just a lot of motion in the storm. This storm is definitely just getting its act together.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it, and your shot is great, Trey. Your shot is absolutely great. So, I mean, the area of concern that we're watching for, I mean, you've got it right there. So, I mean, you've got a great shot of the storm. The biggest thing is we just got to watch and see, does anything actually drop out of it? But there is a tornado warning in effect for this storm now, and again, we're monitoring this very carefully. But you're looking at it live here. That's near the small community of Byers, and again, we're getting some indications here on radar that this thing might be trying to ramp back up again. Trey, it looks like it's trying to maybe ramp back up again, so we're going to kind of keep watching it here and see if we see anything hanging down. But right now, and I see your views just a little hazy there on the right-hand side of that wall cloud. Is there any chance that we wouldn't be able to see in there because of the haze, if there is anything hanging down, or from your vantage point, are you able to see in there pretty well?
I'm not actually able to see over there very well due to there's a house there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually not able to get out and see that at the moment.
Okay, are you able, I don't know if you guys have took the camera out just to get us that shot. Are you able to move down a little bit further and kind of stay up with this? Or like I said, I don't want you guys to necessarily lose the shot. But I mean, if you do feel like you need to kind of get on down the road a little bit, you might want to do that just so you don't lose the storm, because it does continue to kind of lift to the northeast. So like I said, if you need to put the camera back in the car, you may want to try heading again just a little bit further there to the northeast.
Yeah, we're gonna move on down the road.
Okay. So we're still going to kind of hang with your shot. We'll kind of see what it is. Like I said, right now this is the only tornado warning in Oklahoma currently. I'm going to kind of zoom out the radar here. We do have one other severe storm basically lifting through portions of northern Cleveland County. That is a hail producer in northern Cleveland County. Again, one lone tornado warning. This is for portions of far eastern McLean County, and again, that's near the small town of Byers. But again, for our friends in Byers, if you have friends, family, relatives, loved ones in Byers, make sure you're calling them, texting them, letting them know that, again, they need to be in their safe place. Right now, we don't have a report of an actual tornado on the ground. Our Trey Smith, one of our storm trackers, he's looking at it live. But again, right now, no report of an actual tornado on the ground. But again, we are tracking that at least fairly carefully. And again, Trey's basically just putting the camera back in the car. He had to kind of move the camera just a little bit to get us that shot. And now they're putting it back there on the dash, and they'll get going again. But real quickly, what I want to do, we're going to break away from his shot just real quick, and I just want to give the overview. Again, if you're joining us from other parts of the state here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, all the counties in green, that is a tornado watch in effect, and that is in effect until 11 p.m. this evening. Again, all the counties in bright green, really most of the active weather right here in central Oklahoma, again with the severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is going to be for northern Cleveland into portions of Oklahoma County, and that's going to be a brand new tornado, or a brand new severe thunderstorm warning rather, in effect until 6:45 this evening. So again, northern Cleveland County, southeastern Oklahoma County, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:45 this evening. And then again, we have our tornado warning down here, and this is going to be for portions of McLean County near the Byers area. And again, that is going to be in effect until 6:15 this evening. Again, our Trey Smith, one of our storm trackers, he's on that storm. You're looking at his live video there. And if you've been watching us probably over the last 45 minutes or so, We've had two fairly impressive funnel clouds that did drop out of that storm. Both times we had what's called tornado genesis failure, where the tornado didn't form. And now as the cloud heights are starting to come down just a little bit lower, there's kind of a greater opportunity for possibly some tornadic activity, hence the new tornado warning in effect. And again, you can see the hook on it right there. The hook was fairly well pronounced, maybe coming down slightly. But again, Trey Smith basically just having to get a little bit further to the east on this storm. Again, as we're looking at his video right there, having to get a little bit further to the east. He's on a west-east road, and as soon as he gets a little bit further to the east, he'll stop, and again, he'll give us another view of the storm. But again, right now, possibly the area of rotation coming down just slightly. We'll go and take a closer look at this again. We'll zoom it back in, and we'll go and put the velocities back on it. And whenever I say velocities, that's basically the wind flow within the storm. And so what we're looking for here, we're looking basically for areas of red and green that match up, fairly bright colors of red and green. And again, that's what we're looking for right here. So it looks like this is becoming just a little more disorganized over the last 5 minutes. So again, for our friends there in Byers, that's good that again, we're seeing just a little more in the way of disorganization with this storm. But regardless, the tornado warning is still in effect. And so again, if you're in the small town of Byers, definite tornado precautions need to be taken. And as we take a look at our other presentation here, this is the normal radar mode, so to speak. There's the hook right there. There's Byers. So again, the area of concern, the area of rotation, the mesocyclone, the tornado potential, you can see that is lifting, and it's going to lift directly through the Byers area. So the good news at this point in time is we just don't have a report of a tornado on the ground, and that is great for Byers, because if we did have a tornado on the ground, chances are that would move directly through, again, the small community there of Byers. So Trey Smith is still on the live line. Again, he's getting just a little bit further to the east on this storm. Trey, go ahead and bring us up to date. Tell us what you're seeing there near the Byers area.
Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of spin. The storm's really getting its act better. It's keeping up. It's a lot slow bases are starting to lower. It still does not have a very defined wall cloud or a funnel on it yet.
Okay, and that's the key thing. If you do see any type of funnel cloud, again, definitely let us know. I know right now in your video, and folks, you just have to bear with us. If he stops and repositions the camera back to the north, he's kind of going to lose time. He's really got to get to the east on this storm. That way, again, if anything does happen here over the next few minutes, he's far enough to the east that he's able to look on it. So right now, while we're really not seeing anything, the area of concern is just right there to his north. So he's driving east. The area of concern is to his north. He just has to get to the east. That way he can basically look back up into that storm, and then he'll reposition the camera. So just kind of bear with him while he's doing that. But again, he's got eyes on the storm. And right now what he's reporting is that there's no immediate funnel cloud and no immediate tornado genesis trying to happen. But again, this storm at least has had a history of producing two very remarkable funnels. We'll have to go back and look at some of the video and show it to maybe the viewers who missed it from earlier. But I mean, we had very, very well-pronounced funnels, fairly eerie-looking funnel clouds, again, probably 45 minutes ago with this storm, back when it was west of Paoli. So he's still near the town of Byers. And hey, Trey, I'll tell you this. As I'm looking at radar here, it looks like this is actually trying to ramp back up. And I'll tell you what, Trey, there's a very broad area of spin, but it looks like maybe just east of Byers, we're getting just a couple pixels where we might be trying to get something to re-go. So we've got a broad area of spin, and so that was just there in a moment of time. So we just got, as the radar just updated there, that kind of went away. But we still got this broad area of spin, and it's basically moving through the Byers area right now. And Trey, as you're looking at, I know you're still driving to the east. This is just real important for any friends, family, or loved ones down there in the Byers area. As you're looking at that storm, you're not seeing anything on the ground from your vantage point right now, or anything even hanging out of that mesocyclone. Is that correct?
No, I'm not seeing anything on the ground where I am at.
What about the structure of the mesocyclone? Does it look more organized or disorganized to you from maybe 10 minutes ago?
Definitely looking a little bit more organized.
We're getting a few, we're getting just a few indications here that we're trying to just kind of increase the spin just a little bit. So this right here, this is basically the what we can call basically the rotation rate here. And so this is going to be east of Byers. So this is a different product. We don't show this very often, but back in here, this is actually coming up just a little bit. This again is kind of the rotation rate within the storm. And again, we're getting some indications here that the rotation rate again could be increasing just a little bit. Trey, as soon as you have a chance to again give us a shot again back to the north we'd really like to see what you're seeing. Again, only because, and yeah, even with the latest scan here, as we go back to our reflectivity, folks, you're seeing this is definitely ramping back up. This hook is definitely coming back around. This is definitely an intensifying hook. So Trey, whenever you have a chance just to give us another shot back to the north, we'd like to see what you're seeing there. Because again, it looks like this is actually trying to ramp back up. The good news is, and absolutely, even with the newest velocity coming in, Trey, this is definitely coming back up. So the good news is it's basically almost through the Byers area. So it kind of weakened as it went through Byers, which was just absolutely great news. And now as it's kind of moving back out into rural portions of far eastern McLean County, it looks like it's trying to ramp back up. Trey's going to give us a shot of it here in just a second. But Trey, go ahead and give us an update as you're looking and still driving to the east. What are you seeing with that storm? And we may have... okay.
Yeah, it is really starting to ramp up. I'm starting to see another area where it's starting to get a little bit of a wall cloud back on it. Just off my north. I don't have a good spot to stop at the moment.
That's fine. That's fine. No, keep going. And again, the viewers will just kind of bear with you. It's just one of those things. This is happening on the fly. You see Trey's obviously having to just keep east and kind of get ahead of this storm here. In just a second, we'll take a look back to the north. But again, he's just having to get east just to kind of stay up and ahead of this storm. It's lifting to the northeast at right around 35 to 40 miles per hour. So again, these storms are moving, again, fairly quickly. But this is a fairly classic. I mean, this is almost what you would call a pancake supercell. These are sometimes what you see like out in the Texas Panhandle. You call it a pancake supercell because it looks like a pancake. This right here, that's just a big pancake right there. That's all heavy rain, hail. We've had hail reports up to tennis ball with this. And then you just have the little finger on the back end. There's the hook right there. And that's the area of concern. That's what the tornado warning's in effect for. But again, this is almost just like a pancake supercell there. And here just in a second, as soon as Trey again kind of gets, and it looks like there's some other storm trackers there starting to stop. So hopefully Trey will kind of have an area up here fairly quickly that he can stop at and then again shoot back to the north and again give us a view of this storm. But again, officially a tornado warning does continue there in the Byers area. Also for our friends in portions of Oklahoma County, we're just going to zoom this out here just real quick on the fly while we're looking at Trey's video. Southeastern Oklahoma County, severe thunderstorm warning continues there. And then far eastern Garvin County, severe thunderstorm warning down there as well. Both of those hail producers, again, we have one tornado warning in effect. And this is now primarily for portions of far eastern McLean County. And again, this is going to be for the storm that just went through Byers. And again, as we're looking at radar here, again, the indications here in the forecast center, Trey, is that this storm continues to really ramp up. And this is probably some of the best rotation we've seen all day. And again, that was really what we've been saying really from about 6:15, 6:30 to right around 8 p.m. this evening. The cloud heights are basically going to come down a little bit lower, and that's when we're going to have a real opportunity for some tornadic activity, some tornado genesis to happen. And again, that might be what we're seeing. It's now going on 6:15 this evening. But Trey, as you're still looking off to your north, tell us again what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm really starting to see it ramp back up. It's trying to produce another wall cloud, potentially. Oh, man, we have some idiots driving out today. Yeah, I'm starting to see another clear spot wrap around. We're actually, in a minute, you'll actually be able to see it once we get through this intersection. I'm going to be turning north here. We're going to stay not under the storm, but trying to be right next to the storm, so we're not too far south of it.
Okay. And we're still just looking at your feed. It looks like for just a moment in time there it's frozen, so it should click back in here in just a second. Again, you'll have to bear with us. Trey's fairly rural there, and portions of really far eastern McLean County. There's just not a lot of communities out there. Now, this storm did move through the small town of Byers, and as it moved through Byers, it actually slightly weakened as it moved through Byers. But I'll tell you what, Trey. So the Weather Service just dropped the tornado warning. The Weather Service just dropped the tornado warning. They actually allowed it to expire. But I tell you what, even regardless of that right there, this thing is still really showing some, as we've gone throughout the afternoon, this is some of the best rotation that we've seen out of this storm. So we're going to check your stream. I'm going to restart it from here and just see if we can't kind of jumpstart it real quick. But Trey, I know you said you're about to maybe take a corner and we should be able to get a better view of the storm. Is that right?
Yeah, I just turned north. You should be able to see it in my shot now.
Okay.
It's directly in front of the camera.
We're restarting your stream. It looks like we're not. You may have to start and stop it from there. It may just lost signal for a second, so you may just have to start and stop it. and then we'll be able to get it back in. I think, again, it's just because, again, you'll have to bear with us, folks. It's just so rural that, again, this happens from time to time. But again, for our friends up in Asher, and that's going to be up into portions of Pottawatomie County now. That's where there's a lot of rain, there's a lot of hail going on up there near the Asher area. Again, with this, again, what we would just call almost like a pancake supercell. You can still see the little finger there towards the bottom of your screen. That's the hook right there. And again, this is a storm that we've been tracking, and we'll just restart Trey's stream again here. Trey Smith, again, brought us 2 really dynamic wall clouds as we went through the afternoon with this storm. But both of those wall clouds basically resulted in what we call tornado genesis failure. The tornado didn't happen. And again, basically now heading a little bit deeper into the evening. Again, there's a few conditions that we look at that might become a little more favorable for tornadic activity over about the next hour and a half. And again, this storm continues to kind of cycle up and down, but it has a fairly decent radar presentation now with it. But Trey, you're still on the line. We're still just kind of working on your live stream here. But again, go ahead and tell us again where you are. And for the folks at home, go and give us an update with what you're seeing.
I am just north of Stratford. I just turned onto, I believe, 177 north from Stratford. Like I said, we're going to try and get up under this a little bit better and not get as far south of it as it's kind of heading away from us.
Okay, but and we're still working on your stream just a little bit here, and but we should be able to get it back up here. You should hopefully be back within kind of range as far as data goes here fairly quickly. So we'll keep checking on that. One thing I want to do here, just real quickly, Trey, I just want to break away from this for 1 second because I want to talk about, again, a couple other storms here in the state. We're going to get right back to you, and you might take a second again just to start and stop your stream. We'll get right back to you. Is Mike and Jesse still on the live line with us? Mike Russ, are you still on the line with us? I'm not sure if we lost Mike Russ on there, but he was on that storm in portions of Cleveland County. And so let's go and take a look at this just real quick here. And this is in portions of a southeastern Oklahoma County now between Choctaw and Harrah. And this is a hail producer, severe thunderstorm warning in effect there. Let's go and take a look at the hail core tracker. And wow, so you see the hail core there. It was fairly impressive. It's kind of cycled down a little bit, but from Harrah locations to the northeast, again, there's definitely an opportunity for some $half size hail with that storm right there. Again, that is a big-time hail producer. You see the kind of purple going to black north of Harrah. Again, that's where, again, some of that hail's located. Severe thunderstorm warning, again, southeastern Oklahoma County with that storm. We'll just kind of walk the line down here. And as we get into portions of Pottawatomie County, from basically the I-40 corridor, you see McLeod-Dale back down towards Shawnee. Again, that's all heavy rain. That storm is not severe. Tecumseh back down through Brooksville. Again, we'll call that a heavy thunderstorm, intense lightning, also an opportunity for maybe some dime-size hail, especially near the Brooksville area. And then as we go further to the south here, especially down near the Asher area, and then back down just south and, or really northeast rather, of the Byers area. That's the storm that was tornado warned. Again, no longer tornado warned, but again, this is still a bona fide supercell. That is the cell that Trey Smith is on. We'll take a look at that again here in a second. But again, severe thunderstorm warning does continue with that. An opportunity right now, at least, for some golf ball plus size hail with that storm. It has a history of producing some tennis ball size hail. In fact, I was right there, that 2.5, that's tennis ball size hail. Those are the hail reports from that storm earlier. So again, that's extremely destructive hail that we had earlier with that. And then as we go just a little bit further to the south here, this is going to be back now just east of the Winningwood area, back over close to Roth and back over through Fitzhugh. This is an additional storm. This one's come up fairly quickly. It's severe as well. An opportunity for $half size hail possible with that. Again, that's going to be just east of Winningwood. And so again, that's another storm we're going to continue to watch. It's within that tornado watch. You look at it, kind of has some characteristics of possibly trying to form into a supercell as well. So we'll continue to watch that. And again, track that one there carefully as well for our friends down in that part of the state. And so then let's go a little bit further back up to the north here around the Asher area, and that's where Trey Smith is. Again, I think we just lost Trey off the live line. Again, it's just so rural there. Again, I think we're just having a few communication problems with him. But again, that storm no longer severe, or no longer tornadic rather, it is still severe. But let's go and take a look at the velocities within that storm. And again, you can still see on the back side of it, there's still at least some area of spin. but it's nowhere near as pronounced as it was, again, probably 15 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Here's Asher, there's Byers. So again, this mesocyclone, this area of spin, basically came right through the Byers area. Again, it basically weakened as it came through the Byers area, then it ramped back up, again, just really northeast of Byers. But again, now it looks like it's kind of on the downhill swing. So that would be good, again, if we're able to, again, have some severe weather, but not have any tornadic activity. I mean, we'd rather have no severe weather at all, but I mean, if we have to have severe weather, hopefully we don't have any tornadic activity. And as soon as I say it looked like that storm was kind of ramping down, it looks like now with the very newest data coming in here, it looks like it's trying to ramp back up just a little bit. Again, Trey Smith is still on that one. Let's go and take a closer look here. And as we do that, we're still getting at least some indications here on radar. This is basically the rotation rate. That again, the rotation rate is trying to come up just a little bit. And this storm here, it's basically cycled. It kind of ingested the hook earlier. You saw the old hook. This is the old hook right here. The storm basically kind of ingested that. And now we have kind of a new area of rotation that's coming back down on really the south side. And that happened within like 5 minutes. So it basically ingested it. It looked like the storm was starting to weaken. And now look what's coming up right here. That's a brand new area of rotation. And that's coming up hard. That's coming up fast. So again, we've got Trey Smith on that storm. Again, we temporarily lost them again just because of how rural it was down in that part of the state. I think we've got him back on the live line. Trey, are you still on the line with us now? I think we had him. I think we just lost him. So Trey's going to keep trying to call in, and again, we will make contact with him again here fairly soon. But let's go and kind of take a look at some cities around this. And as we do that, again, at least the good thing right now is that this is still fairly rural. As we're taking a look at this, this is still a fairly rural part of Oklahoma. It's moving into far northwestern portions of Pontotoc County, and it looks like it may try and lift into portions of a Seminole County there as well. And this is the hook right here. This is what we're watching. And officially, no tornado warning still on this storm. The Weather Service allowed that to expire, but again, the storm continues to kind of cycle up, cycle down, and right now it looks like it might be trying to cycle back up again with this new hook forming there again on the back side of it. So like I mentioned, we're going to talk to Trey Smith again coming up here in just a second. As soon as he's able to kind of remake contact with us, again, we'll be able to talk with him and get a live update with as far as his video goes. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. We're going to regroup with our storm trackers, and we'll continue our live coverage right after this.
This is Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, live Oklahoma weather 24/7. From Oklahoma's sunny days to those heartbreaking weather days, only Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV covers the entire state. You can trust the experience of Chief Meteorologist William Cole and our expert team of storm trackers. Oklahomans have always stuck together, and we're no different. We're here for you, the good weather days and the bad, keeping you and your family informed and safe. This is our mission. This is Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, live Oklahoma weather 24/7. The latest Oklahoma weather now. Live Oklahoma temperatures. Live Oklahoma City metro temperatures. Live Tulsa metro temperatures. Live Oklahoma wind chills. Live Oklahoma wind gusts and direction. Today's highest wind gusts. Hour rainfall amounts. live watch and warning map, live mesoscan radar, the Oklahoma forecast map, the updated 12-day forecast, with TalkBox, being remote no longer means being isolated. Providing powerful internet and voice communication, the TalkBox reliably performs in the remote locations and harsh conditions where traditional communication options fail. With solutions to support single users to entire work groups. Find out why the Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV storm chasing team is powered by TalkBox and how the TalkBox could support your remote communications needs by visiting www.talkbox.com or calling 855-808-8627.
Land Run Clothing Company, located in the great city of Norman, Oklahoma, your one-stop shop for all your custom printing and embroidery needs. We specialize in screen print